What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I want to go over why I think NIO could hit $100 in the next few years, and also a couple reasons as to why right now may be a good time to be buying into NIO, especially going into June, because there's a few big things that are going to be happening in June and in the next few months that really could shoot up NIO's share price. But before we actually get into the video, for those of you who are new here, my name is Evan, and I make videos that show you guys different ways of making money. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Also, if you guys wouldn't mind going down and hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it, and it lets me know that you guys enjoy these video updates every day. So again, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I'd really appreciate it. Now, taking a look at NIO's share price today, they're trading right around $42, and they're actually up almost 3% on the day. And overall, it's been a relatively green day, and there's really no signs that NIO is going to pull back and be in the red today. But when we actually zoom out and look at the 1 week chart, NIO's still up about 5% on the weekly chart, and they've been having a pretty strong week this week. And even at their low this week, NIO only pulled back to about $40. So it does look like they have some pretty strong support here between $40 and $42, and it seems like they're starting to consolidate around this area. Now, before we get into why I think NIO is going to hit $100 in the next couple of years, I want to give you guys a couple reasons as to why you may want to be buying into NIO right now. A couple days ago, NIO actually reported their May delivery numbers, and they weren't fantastic, but they also implied that the worst of the semiconductor shortage that was impacting NIO was kind of in the rearview mirror, and NIO was kind of past that because people were expecting the delivery numbers to be a lot lower than they were. And so when they weren't quite as low as people expected, NIO actually shot up about 10% when they released their delivery numbers. And actually right now, NIO can't get their hands on enough semiconductor chips to keep up with the demand for their vehicles over in China, because their delivery numbers for May was 6,711, which was actually 5.5% down month over month. And that was also following a 2.1% decline from April. But one of the reasons why I think now may be a good time to look at buying in possibly is because NIO is predicting that their deliveries for the second quarter of 2021 are going to come in around 21,500. They've previously said that their deliveries are going to be between 21,000 and 22,000. So at 21.5, that's kind of a rough estimate of where their deliveries may be. Now, if this actually ends up being the case, that implies that they're going to deliver 7,750 vehicles in June. And so not only would that be a 15.5% month over month increase, but it would also represent NIO's biggest monthly delivery volume ever. And we've seen what NIO has done in terms of their share price in the past when they've set record monthly deliveries. There's been a few months where they've actually spiked up huge after they set record deliveries. And I'm not saying that they're going to spike up and set a new record high in terms of their share price, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them start climbing up even higher once June deliveries do come out, and that would be at some point in early July. So there's about 1 month or so before those delivery numbers are going to come out. And if they do actually set a record delivery month at 7,750 or more possibly, I do think that could be one of the catalysts that starts pushing up NIO and starts them on that upwards trajectory like we've seen in the past. And something else that could be a very big factor is that the world's largest and most important factory for auto industry computer chip production, which is located in Japan, is already back up to 88% of their production capacity after a fire in March temporarily shut down the factory. And they're also expecting full production by the end of June. And so it looks like the worst of the semiconductor shortage having impacted NIO is over. And so from here, there really shouldn't be much stopping NIO in terms of their share price. The only other thing possibly is that a lot of people are expecting NIO probably to go up a lot slower than we've seen in the past, because they actually went from a couple dollars last May and shot up over $60 in a matter of less than a year. So I don't think we're going to see those crazy gains like we saw last year, and I think it's going to be a more steady upwards trend. But again, that's just kind of my opinion. We could see exponential gains like we've seen in the past. I just don't think that that's going to be a reality this time around, because so many people bought into NIO pretty much right around the top as it was starting to level off. And so I think a lot of people actually got burned. But like I said, I think that they're going to continue increasing, and it's going to be a more steady upwards trend. And we're not going to see these days where NIO jumps 20% in the green or the red, because that wasn't totally uncommon last year when NIO saw all those crazy gains. Now, in terms of NIO hitting $100 in the next couple of years, I think this is very possible looking at how autonomous driving is probably going to become a reality in the next few years. Because I don't know if you guys are aware, but Tesla vehicles right now, they could release full autonomous driving. The only thing preventing them from doing so is that it's not legal yet. But I think once these laws get passed and autonomous driving is legal, the demand for vehicles like NIO vehicles and Tesla vehicles is going to skyrocket in the next few years, especially once the autonomous driving becomes pretty much perfect to where there's no accidents happening. Now, of course, it's not always going to be perfect, but one of the goals with autonomous driving is to take out human error so all the vehicles can talk to one another. And if that's the case, they can pretty much avoid any accident because all the computers are linked together and every car is moving together and they know exactly how the other vehicle is going to react. Now, that's only one of the things that I think is going to help push NIO up to that $100 share price. But one of the other things is that NIO is expanding into Europe. They're actually planning to release vehicles in September, which is only a few months away. And keep in mind that it's only been 3 years since NIO made their first deliveries in mid-2018. So in 3 years, they've gone from releasing their first vehicle to expanding into Europe, and they've already delivered about 100,000 vehicles. So I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that NIO could grow substantially in the next few years and possibly even catch up to Tesla. Currently, Tesla's trading for more than $600 per share, and they have a market cap of about $600 billion, where NIO is at about $60 billion. So NIO is trading about 1/10 of the price of Tesla, but I think a lot of people who are invested in NIO, they see the potential that NIO really has, especially being in the luxury end of vehicles. NIO is almost in a market of its own outside of Tesla, because while Tesla vehicles are somewhat luxurious and a lot of people buy them just for the luxury aspect of it, NIO is almost on a whole nother level. And one example of that is just the control over NIO vehicles when you look at different panel gaps on their vehicles or just how much attention to detail there is compared to different Tesla vehicles. So I do think once they start having success outside of China and more people start getting wind of NIO, there's going to be more people investing in NIO, and that's really going to drive up the price because there's going to be more demand for the shares. And so I don't really think it's a question of if NIO is going to hit $100. I think it's more of a question of when it's going to happen, because even if it took them 5 to 10 years, say 10 years for example, that would still be more than double their current share price at about $42. And so a 100% gain over 10 years, that's really nothing to shy away from. I don't think anybody would complain about a 10% gain on their portfolio year after year. And that's approximately what we would be looking at if NIO got up to $100 in the next 10 years. But like I mentioned, I think this is going to happen much sooner than we expect when we look at all the things that NIO really has to offer. And another one of those big things, which you guys are probably aware of, is their battery as a service. NIO is kind of separating themselves from other electric vehicle companies, and they're giving their customers the ability to drive into this swap station where they just park their vehicle, and in a matter of minutes, about 3 to 5 minutes, their battery is exchanged out for a brand new battery. So not only does that cut down on charging time, but it also allows a lot more people to buy electric vehicles when they probably weren't previously considering buying one, maybe if they live at an apartment and they don't have access to charging. And right now there's already 226 battery swapping stations across China, and they're trying to build a bigger network and more infrastructure to increase the amount of swap stations that there are. And they're also going to be implementing these swap stations across Europe once they start finally delivering vehicles come this September. And going back to autonomous driving, NIO is continuously developing their autonomous driving technology, which is expected to benefit the company and their shareholders very greatly in the near future. And by 2025, the global autonomous market is going to become one of the fastest growing and most highly demanded segments with an estimated value of $1.6 trillion. So if NIO was able to secure a 6% share of this market, that would give them a valuation of at least $100 billion, and that would bring their existing share price up to over $100 per share. And considering that NIO is currently one of the very few electric vehicle makers that's been able to achieve tangible results in the autonomous driving scene, and they're also actively growing overseas sales, I think it's pretty easy to see that NIO is going to be a big company in the future, and this $100 share price it's probably very easy for NIO to hit even by 2025. Now, there could easily be more hiccups like semiconductor shortages or different things that may affect electric vehicle companies over the next few years. But just figuring where autonomous driving is going to be, and the fact that a lot of countries want to get rid of gas-powered vehicles in the next 10 to 15 years. Again, I think it's more of a question of when NIO is going to hit $100 and not a question of if they're going to. Now, for those of you who made it this far into the video, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments 2025. And I know a lot of you guys are very bullish on NIO, and a lot of you probably expect NIO to hit $100 by the end of 2021. And while that really could happen with the growth we've seen in the past, personally, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative and give NIO about 5 years or so to increase up to $100. So again, let me know down in the comments when you think NIO is going to hit $100 per share. And if you guys haven't signed up for Webull, make sure you guys sign up using the link in the description. And when you sign up and deposit $100, you'll actually get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,800. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.